Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my recovery. Uh, I've been trying to do this video for a while now. Um, it's a topic that really bothers me. It's hard for me to really talk about it to anybody because I get so upset. Really because I lost a lot of my friends to this, and it's really just a way that addicts are seen because of this, and I mean, it's a joke. But today I'm gonna go over the opioid crisis in detail today. Um, okay, I'm gonna read some of the stuff on here. Well, a lot of the stuff on here. Then I'm gonna get into the Sackler family, which is the people who they owned Purdue Pharma and later Mundy Pharma, and those are the ones that made a bunch of different addictive pharmaceutical drugs like Oxycontin, Percocets, stuff like that. And yeah, well, okay. Let me finish it. The opioid crisis has been ravaging communities and families across the United States for the past decade. In 2017, the opioid crisis was declared a public health emergency under Section 319 of the Public Health Service Act. This crisis claims more than 187 lives per day. I mean, that's a plane crash. I mean, think about that. You know, I remember seeing Jelly Roll on talking to Congress about this, and that's what he said. Like we lose a plane crash of people, and if it was a plane crash, it'd be all over the news everywhere, right? It'd be all over American news if a plane crashed every single day. You know, if nobody would fly, nothing, everything, every stuff would have to be done, right? But yet we're losing 187 people to this stuff a day, and I mean they don't even talk about it anymore. I mean they don't even talk about it on they don't even talk about it on TV no more. I mean it's ridiculous. Says evidence also suggests that the impacts of the opioid crisis has been exacerbated during the COVID-19 public health emergency, with significant increases in alcohol and substance abuse and worsening mental health. The CDC has also announced an acceleration of overdose deaths during the pandemic and called for expanded prevention efforts. Recent research suggests that telehealth and other broadband-enabled solutions may provide critical tools to addressing this challenge. The reason why I was bringing up broadband and stuff is because I got this from the FCC, and it's actually from the Connect2Health, and it deals with the broadband part of it, which is telehealth, trying to get internet to rural communities, stuff like that. So that way, get more help to more people, and try to help curb what's going on here. I say so. Here's some of the statistics. God, I can't even speak today. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it says more than 560,000 people in the United States have died from overdoses, including opiates, since the epidemic began. The number of annual opioid overdose deaths remains more than 8 times higher than it was in 1999. There were approximately 69,000 opioid overdoses in 2020, and 82% involved synthetic opioids. It says, and provisional data reflects that the number of drug overdose deaths continued to increase during the pandemic, peaking at over 107,000 in the 12-month period ending in December 2021, the highest number ever recorded. This trend emerged despite underreporting due to incomplete data. When it says synthetic opioids, it's talking about prescription medicine for I mean, it's things not made from, like the poppy plant, like heroin or, um, well, heroin, pretty much. And it's not counting methadone either, because methadone is used to help, curb cravings for opiates. It's helped to combat the opioid crisis. So it's not counting methadone at all. It's counting, well, they stopped selling OxyContin, but OxyContin at the time, Roxycontin, all that stuff. That's what it's counting. So fentanyl. So heroin is not really part of this. As far as I know, I don't think it is anyway. Even if it is, well, it can't be because this is 82% or synthetic opiates. So no, it can't be. Of course, opiate overdoses may also be non-fatal. These non-fatal opioid overdoses place significant burdens on governments, health systems, communities, and families, and may disproportionately affect rural and underserved areas. For example, there were nearly 290,000 hospitalizations and emergency department visits related to opioid poisoning in 2016. Most of these hospitalizations and emergency visits were paid for by Medicare, Medicaid, or the uninsured. Rural counties may experience resource outages and or limited economic opportunities that negatively affect access to health care services and health outcomes. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking today. Anyways, so that's just some of the numbers that I could find on. Like I said, this came from the FCC. It's the focus on broadbands and opioids from the Connect2Health website. Now, I'm sure, I hope that you guys have heard of Purdue Pharma, which is like I said, the makers of OxyContin and the Sackler family, which own it. What they are known for is really being, the most evil family in America, I think. By far. By far. They're responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths because they hid the fact that the drugs that they developed was addicting. And now this is my opinion on this stuff, because they was taken to court and they did plead guilty to felony charges, but they never spent one day in prison or jail, by the way. One of the few felons that I know of that's even capable of doing this and pay their way out of it. But they did get house arrest, right? Ooh, they get to keep their company. They admitted to no wrongdoing of their kind. And so basically they got away with it. They ended up getting away with it. And right now they brought up lawsuits in New York City, a bunch of other different states. West Virginia, I think, sued for, was it $1 billion, I believe. And which, by the way, now take in mind that when I'm telling you the prices that these people are being sued for, right, in all these cases, none of this is going to the addicts. None of it. None at all. And the only way they would even come up with these solutions at all was if the government would sign off on them not be able to have many cases brought up against them. So what that means is, if they win this, if the government signed this, and they already signed it once, they already signed it once for, let's see if I can find that, how much, I think it was $4.6 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Let me find it on here. just to make sure, I want to get the number, 4.2 over the next 9 years to resolve civil claims in exchange for immunity from criminal prosecutions. Says this legal firewall was opposed by 24 state attorney general as well as the attorney general for Washington, D.C. They were quoted as saying, if the Sacklers are able to use bankruptcy to escape the consequences of their actions, said the AGs who called whatever, said it would be a roadmap for other powerful bad actors. In other words, they're trying to buy the way out of it. What they did was they said that they needed the money, and according to their accountants and all the paperwork, it's all there, it's all true. I mean, as much as you want to believe it, but there's no proof saying otherwise, is all I could say. They took $10 billion from their company, said they use it for legit reasons, transferred it to another account, and like I said that they put it back for other purposes to help because of these cases and stuff, right? Now, so when they did this, they said that now since they took $10 billion away from Purdue Pharma, they said, okay, we're bankrupt now. And so they filed for bankruptcy to the government with this deal to be completely immune from any, criminal prosecutions and to settle all the civil cases. It's crazy. And like I said, West Virginia did it. They sued them for $1 billion, claiming that they were doing it for the addicts because it ruined, our state. And trust me, it destroyed our state. And none of that's going to addicts. None of it went to addicts. None of it addicts. They say, well, it goes to them because they're going to go seek help. But that don't help any of the people that died. They don't help none of their family. They don't help any of the people that lost everything. I mean, I lost myself. I lost everything I own, my homes and everything, 3 different times. Cars, homes, and everything to pills, to pain pills. And it's, I'm not going to put it all on their fault. I'm not going to put everything on their fault, but and legally, I guess I can't say that, But I will say that I do remember seeing the ads and being told by people in the doctor's office, them telling me that none of this was addictive. That, they were promising none of it was addictive, okay? And what they did was they went to all these different doctors, got them to prescribe all these different types of pain pills, including Oxycontin. And these doctors, like for instance in West Virginia, were dealing with blue collar workers. I mean, you're talking about workers that, like coal miners. I mean, they were working 12 hours a day, almost every day a week, to put food on our table for the family. And they just used them. They used them because they knew they needed something for the pain, and they decided to, just straight up make them all addicts. And they knew it was addictive. The Sacklers knew it was addictive. There's paperwork, there's proof of it and everything. There was court documents that came out saying that when the overdoses started happening, they went as far as hiring another company to give kickbacks. Basically, what they did was they bought out other people's prescriptions of people that OD'd and died, or OD'd and decided to get off of the medicine. So where the pharmacists were losing money because they wasn't filling as many of the pills, these people were paying them the rest of the money that they were losing, so that way they would still fill the medicine. Now you can't you can't tell me that ain't evil, right? I mean, you can't tell me they're evil, and it's not just them. Like I said, I'm not blaming them. I mean, they're a corporation, they're big pharma, they're in it for the money, right? I mean, I could see them being the evil people here, but there was thousands of doctors, that were pill mills. I mean, I could tell you, I bet I went to 10, 11, 12 different ones in 5 different states, and that would write these medicines. And they would see you for 5 minutes and send you on your way. And the only people that I ever seen get in trouble for this was an American. I can't remember the actual name of it now, but it was in Florida. And the reason why, this is the funny thing is about it, the reason why they got in trouble was it because one of my friends OD'd and died off the medicine that they were writing down there. And their mom and I believe their dad worked with the government or the police, worked with the DA to help close them down. So thank you to them, right? I mean, thank you for them standing up and actually doing something, because their son died, right? Because it's awful. And I mean, none of this stuff is talked about in the news. None of this stuff is brought up. I mean, we were sold a lie. They made thousands of people addicts with this stuff. They ruined millions of people, I would say millions of people's lives with this stuff. And right now they're trying to, they just got beat on their last deal, which was the $4.2 billion. They upped it to $10 billion, but it still has the same clause in it that they won't be charged with any criminal stuff. And according to the people that that's part of the committee that's supposed to represent us, right? This stuff was already done. Like there was nothing they could do. Like once they went in there, there was nothing they could do. They said that everything was already done and it was just nothing but politics by the time they got in there. Because addicts was on that panel. They wanted to make them pay, and they couldn't. There was nothing they could do. It was already settled. Everything was settled, and our attorney generals signed off on this. Like they signed off on this. And their excuse for this was, well, at least we're getting something out of them, right? Now, also, okay, this $10 billion deal, let's say it does go through, okay? The only way we get money from that, by the way, is if they have, what's the term I'm looking for? I need help, man. I need to know the term I'm looking for here. Crap. It's I mean, if they have increased revenue, I can't profit. If they have make a profit and they make a net profit off of their medicine in the next 10 years or whatever, and it has to be over a certain amount. I mean, it's all in this it's on the on this contract that we're going to sign, all this bankruptcy deal, that if they sign this, that as long as they make profit, so if they are losing their butt, they don't have to pay a dime. They don't pay none of this stuff back. If they or none of it at all. So they have to be making profit in order for this to happen. And I think out of this deal, I think it was something like, don't quote me on this number, but I'm pretty sure it's like $383 million that's supposed to go to, let's see what it says, 1,600 cases, over 1,600 cases. And that's just for the That's just for the federal level for the criminal stuff. That's not counting all the civil stuff. That's not counting any of that stuff. So you're talking about this is the people that's going to go to that'll go to the victims if if they make a profit. They get to keep their company. Um, that's also in it. So they get to still run their company. They still get to make billions of dollars every year. The government's going to be paying all their bills because they are filing bankruptcy on it. And only if they make a profit do they have to pay back anything to the government, for bankruptcy, or a part of the settlement, the $10 billion. I mean, and then our attorney generals want to look at us and say it's worth it for all the people that's died because of their greed. I mean, I'm sorry. It's hard, It's hard. I lost a friend just what's it been? Maybe 3 years now. My best friend. I lost him just 3 years ago to pills. And I mean, he was, a problem with this right here. I mean, this is what happened to him. This right here. So it's ridiculous. And then to have the media and your friends and your family and the government look at you like it's your fault is the most backstabbing I've ever seen in my life, But it's not their fault because, I mean, you're talking about these people are billionaires. They spent billions of dollars, millions of dollars to run ads, to run all this stuff, to show that they're not at fault. And they so far have gotten away with it. They've so far have gotten completely away with buying their way out of this. And they're going to get away with it. They're going to get away with it. There's no way. I mean, they had their chance last time. The people done signed the bill for, like I said, I think it's $4.5 billion over 9 years, I believe. I think I said 10 last time, but no, it's over 9 years. With most of the money funding addiction treatment. And we got lucky because one judge said, no, this ain't right, because none of the people that you hurt are, you're not helping any of them. It says on December 16, 2021, U.S. District Judge Colleen McMahon ruled that the bankruptcy judge did not have the authority to give the Sacklers immunity in civil liability cases. The ruling was overturned on appeal to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Court. This ruling was stayed in August 2023 by the U.S. Supreme Court pending oral argument in December 2023. On June 27, 2024, which is the reason why I'm bringing this up, is in its decision, Harrington versus Purdue Pharma LP, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the settlement in a 5-4 decision. So therefore, I mean, if I read that right, that the settlement's no good. So they have to go back to the drawing board. And like I said, they've already went back to the drawing board. It's for $10 billion. It's been this way for years. They were just waiting for the oral arguments, or they was expecting it to be overturned. And but it's the same deal. It's the exact same deal. It's the exact same deal, just more money. So it's not going to help any of the people at all other than through treatments. And you can say that's helping people. Don't get me wrong. It's not the government's job. The government's job is to send the money to the people, and it's the rehab's job. It's the people getting the money. It's their job to help, the addicts that need help, right? So, the fault doesn't lie on their end. It's just there was a lot of money already sent out to this stuff, And I feel like these places are dropping the ball. Like this money doesn't seem like it's getting to them. The places I've been have been. There's no way it feels like they got any money at all. I mean, and my insurance pays for it all. So like they're getting my insurance money, plus they're getting money from the state, and it just seems like this money is going to more pockets than it is to help people. And I mean, I don't care to say that at all, one bit. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew exactly what this stuff means for you if you're an addict, if you're a victim of this, and and that's including the family members, friends, or the people who have lost their lives, or the people that have lost everything in their life, because of this, and if this stuff happened to you, I mean, I'm very sorry. I know exactly how it is. I know what it feels like to be betrayed and by people you're supposed to put your trust in. I mean, I don't trust doctors at all anymore because of this. So, and I just want to make sure everybody knew about this because on June 27th, like I said, on 5/4, they decided to overturn this. And you guys need to know. But anyways, that's all for today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.